So I'm not lazy about my American. Why not comment that, right? So, hello everyone out there in this man's huge land. It's me, Al. I'm just home. I just come from my training session of tonight. I just was whatever doing, just jumping, leaping, just kicking, whatever, just doing physical activities and stretching my, I don't know, purifying my brain that way, stretching my muscles and joints, and drilling my whatever skills at my whatever. I'm not again just gonna dive into the full thing because I wanted to just mention like superficially what I've done today, what I was doing today actually is what I've done just again means a lot, and my physical abilities or physical activities I should say instead of just maybe mental ones, which was followed which was followed with my physical mental activities was followed by my physical activities, and everything's just pretty fine and went fine, and it's just all triggered in the right way and worked out as I expected, probably not to the full extent that I just probably not saving my just powers, mental or physical ones to do something more, but I'm just one not to the full extent be just depleted, and that's why I just slash slightly my activities and in order to be able to do these ramblings forward. So if I mispronounce fucking something, I don't fucking care. Let's do what we have. We're gonna be doing this again, and it's saying whole, not a whole thing, as we dived into this inner power recently. I remember was probably my three latest, no, the latest like free footage before the latest. That was in our video shoots here, if you remember. I do, and so let's dive deeper into the inner part, which sits pretty neatly in the whole thing, and I'm gonna be reading the words that I haven't told only those ones that I haven't said yet, and what I told you about this writing piece I won't be reiterating in my video session of tonight. Only new sheets and new, I don't know, relations to this thing of a bunch of different angles and derivations, how it might relate to this inner part well-being experience, this floppy, shitty, meaning nothing rant of mine about this stuff that I'm pointing out right now with my tentacle. So the finger, I should say, not the 10 hands, just one, bring and intertwine the piece of self-deprecating humor my very should in order to differ. Why not to be boring? Why not to be ordinary person? Don't be average. Don't be average. I'm not. I guess I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I learned the right pronunciation of the material which is made of is graphite, not graphite, graphite. So the only thing that I reiterated here is made of graphite. Let it be. You don't mind, I know. So the rod itself is pretty like stretched. It's thin. It's tall regarding its thickness and its height, let's put it this way, and it's like completely made out of graphite, and the graphite is naturally derived material. It sits deep in the ground, and you extract it or you excavate it out of the mines, or maybe open mines. Then you mine the whatever those minerals might be. We relate here particularly to graphite, and graphite is naturally derived material, and again I like natural things, and it's not an inclusion out of those things as it appeared. So it's graphite made rod. It reminds me that I was heading home, I was pondering on the point, what different things can I say about this, and the thought that happened to be in my silly head on my way home was, and still is, that this graphite made rod reminds me slightly of those rods that they use them at nuclear power stations. It's like complete complete like material, raw material, completely raw, refined uranium made rods. They sit in a so-called like a magazine for bullets in your gun. It sits like it's like a platform. It's like a bed for eggs with those hulls or being square shaped or this structure frame, whatever you'd like to put in this. Even a mold, it's not a mold, it's just structure that is particularly there and that operating unit of nuclear power station for that structure to keep all those nuclear fuel filled vertically oriented tall and heavy rods. They sit in that not a crate, it's not a crate, it's like this structure like a mesh they have. It has these holes all around its square shape. There are all like circle shaped those holes, and I don't know how many they are, but they are many, maybe probably up to 100 or even more, and those nuclear fuel metal uranium made rods. Uranium is a metal, right? So uranium made rods, they sit there in those holes and they touch the bottom part. Then when they melt, probably then they get hot because of the nuclear reaction. They hit the water that surrounds that structure, and that's how you get in that water rotates turbines, and that's how you get in that turbine produces electricity in an obvious way. I shouldn't be even explaining that, right? So that's how you produce electricity using nuclear fuel rods. And this rod right in piece reminds me that rod fuel full one of many fuel rod nuclear rod fuel nuclear uranium made metal fuel rods for nuclear power station. That's what this stuff reminds me. That was just an image that went right into my mind, and it's still there. It cannot extract it. Maybe tomorrow morning we'll see. So it's one thing. The other thing might be like, see what it might be. It's like an arrow, It's not like that arrow that points somewhere or whatever. It's like arrow, then you shoot from your bow, and there's like arrow. It's like it misses the those fins on its end or on its back end in order to fly a certain trajectory, not in order to miss its right trajectory. That's when you get those feathers on the back end. We do not have feathers here as that regular bow arrow has. And these are the second idea that came into my head. And see, this material graphite is pretty dense, it's heavy. I cannot gauge without extracting it all. This whole thing I wouldn't, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to write whatever I want. And I want to write a lot, and I write a lot. Actually, it helps facilitates my learning process, my advancement process, and why break things that they work right for me, right? So I won't. So we cannot gauge the weight of this inner writing piece, and if we could, probably we would. And again, it's like I don't know, maybe 1 millimeter of piece diameter, and the radius is like twice less, like 0.5 millimeter of its radius of this radius of this graphite made rod. And what else? We cannot see the opposite side because it's stuck with this plug. It's not a plug, it's like a razor plug thing that sits on the back end of this pencil, and I cannot break it because it again serves well for me. So these we are we are getting out of the point as I feel. So I almost like to go on a tangent. So if I do, then bear with all this mess. So we're gonna be back on the track of today's rant. So this thing it's like probably I cannot say something more about it because in any fucking thoughts no way any thoughts just might be related to these, but any of those thoughts doesn't come to my head, and so let's call it a night. It's fucking long, whatever. I did what I could, and let's save it for later explanations. We're gonna dive more deeper, and we're gonna be reading the words and unspoken ones, and probably we will be doing that, or probably we will. So if we do well, then we will. So we will be doing well together. And little thanks again for practicing, whatever practicing, adorable American, be good, never be just under the weather, and always why not be always good, right? So be good, and night, be good peeps out there, because I feel you all, and your presence matters a lot to me. Thanks for being with me tonight, for practicing again my adorable American, and thanks for doing whatever you're doing. Again, I was just trying to get some fluency with your presence on my channel. Be good, I gotta roll. Night, see you soon in a while.